Good afternoon. Wondering about the election. If you look at the maps, primarily the cities, the well off cities where people have higher incomes, they voted for Kamala. And then the vast rural areas, they voted for Trump. So, looks mostly like a protest vote against the government for the increasing poverty of the rural areas and their inability to keep up with the inflation. And so you look at a lot of the things we buy, clothing, hats, food. These things haven't necessarily benefited from the evolution of technology. It's fields, it's crops, it's fertilizer, and it's diesel tractors and labor. So, as land prices go up, that drives up price of farmland. The property taxes cost for the whole farming operation. Same with the diesel cost. Now, a lot of our prosperity over the years has come from cheap energy. So, coal, the oil, the gas, the closer they are to the surface, you punch a hole and they just come spewing out. Well, over the years, it's gotten more expensive to pump them up out of the ground. You had to get deeper formations and use more equipment. So the cost has just gone up. And you look at it now, there's no shortage of oil. It's just the cost of it is higher. There's actually more of a surplus of it. But the oil to gas companies and the refineries, they're at the point where they're losing money at the present price. So simply drilling for more of it wouldn't lower the cost of fuel to the public because it's hitting the rock bottom of the production cost right now. So if we actually pumped more oil and gas, it would put the drillers and the refineries out of business. And that would create its own whole host of problems. So you can't really fix the problem of these depleted, abundant resources of the oil, the gas, and the coal. And if you look at capitalism, it's not a system that's designed to use resources efficiently, sparingly, and productively. Capitalism is best at exploiting resources, guzzling them, and profiting from them. But we've shifted from the abundance of resources to the scarcity of them. So what we really need is a system that doesn't waste resources, that uses them efficiently. So we really have to think about the underlying problem we have now is that we're still maintaining this capitalist system, but the fundamentals have changed. The resource scarcity now is making that no longer a sustainable system. So we really need to think going forward of how we're going to conserve these resources and use them efficiently, as opposed to just exploiting them for short-term profit and gains. So these yachts, these cruises, this tourism industry, this is all wasting resources. These stadiums, these concert tours, these billion-dollar movies, all of these things are contributing to inflation when we should be using these scarce resources to provide the things we need, like the clothing and the hats, food, water resources, all these essential goods that are getting driven up by the inflation because the labor and resource has to compete with all these non-essential goods and services. So instead of building, these really expensive luxury cars like Musk wants to do, these rocket ships, we can't have all these non-essential things. I'm not really sure that anyone in power is really understanding that. And if you want to elect somebody, put the Amish in the government. They know how to run an efficient operation. They don't want stuff that they don't need. They focus on what they need to provide for their community, and they stay sufficient, and all of their jobs are secured because they're producing things that are needed. So hopefully somebody in power gets the message and starts to see that we really need to reform our economic system, that that we're focusing not on these, profitable luxury industries that waste resources, but on narrowing down our consumption of resources to the essentials.